Very excited to talk to the man who is going to be in the main event coming up on UFC on ESPN, Jamahal Hill. He is a rising star in the UFC, and he is taking on Thiago Santos in the main event. A banger at 205, and he is joining us, getting fresh for fight week. Jamahal, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
How's it going, bro? Thank you for having me.
It's great, man. Look, I was very excited seeing this on your Instagram. So you get yourself a main event suite. That's a thing. Like once you're in the main event, the room upgrades. That seems like a very big deal.
Yeah, man. Apparently so. This is real nice. Real nice room. It's the bathroom. The whole thing that you see behind me is the bathroom.
And what's the best thing in there thus far? Because that shower looked very impressive.
I have to say the shower. It's a full-blown walk-in shower. You can sit down in there, relax.
You were saying that everybody thought we were going to get Fat Maul coming up this week. Robert Whitaker has said this too. He has a fat man persona that makes him happier. He has fat Robert Whitaker. Do you have the same thing as a badass fighter when you're not starving yourself and getting yourself in condition? Is there a fat version of you that makes you a lot happier?
There is. Fat Maul. Fat Maul is definitely my plus side.
What is that? What is the go-to celebration meal? And what do you get? Do you get it after the fight or do you get it after weigh-in?
I usually I don't have like a routine meal or anything like that. Usually whenever we fight out here in Vegas, we usually go to Nacho Daddy.
Nacho Dad? Oh man, some supreme knowledge.
Rick's barbecue. We like sliding. We like going in there.
That's good. That's good right there, Jamal. Now look, man, you've obliterated your last two opponents. You got a 5-round fight ahead of you. Do you think that's a thing? Like, I know you fought in a 5-rounder back in other promotions before, but like doing it on the big stage, do you worry about conserving yourself at all? Because you put highlight finishes. That's why people love watching you fight. Is that anything of a concern going into this one?
Oh, no, because it's how I train. I train to go 5 rounds. I train to fight as long as I need to. Every time I've been training for these type of fights. Only thing was I just didn't have to. They just weren't there. But I was training for them.
So do you feel like that's an overrated thing that people always look for? Because I feel like whenever anybody's breaking down a young fighter and it's their first main event, which is obviously a big deal, but like they always are under the impression guys can't go 5 rounds. But you guys are always training for this, right? Like it's always under the impression that like you're gearing yourself up for the big stage.
Competing against somebody, you're thinking about that, you're thinking about the wrong period. Because even if he does get tired, he can still punch you. He can still punch you and knock you out in the first 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So just I don't think he has the experience to even go that route. All right, just make sure that you can. So that way, if he can't, you can capitalize on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, man. I'm a little bit harsher of a critic than a lot of people are. You know what I mean? So, because like sometimes you'll see a fight happen and be like, oh, he took advantage of this. He just well, no, he did. The dude just couldn't do shit. He was able to it worked out for him, but he didn't capitalize on it in any significant way. It just benefited him. He didn't do anything impressive. Like I feel like a lot of times people are too easily impressed with things that aren't impressive.
Is there like one that comes to mind recently where you thought like, man, people really they got the wrong impression of that fight?
I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, he did well against Magomed." He didn't do shit. Either one of them did.
So you would say for a fight like this, like you would want to see, like this is one where you're going to try and bring the action to it.
He's coming to fight. Whether he's coming to fight or not, that's up to him. But it's coming.
You posted an old photo of you guys. Like, what is the memory of that? You posted like a selfie on social media. Is that an old picture? Like, do you recall what that's from?
Yeah, that was from right the day after I got signed up for Contender Series when I was going to the airport on my way back home. He was outside the hotel waiting for a shuttle to go to the PI, and I was getting on the shuttle to leave. Man. Obviously, you see Thiago Santos, he just fought John Jones, hell of a fight. Take a picture with him.
You're not going to be thinking about, oh my God, it's Thiago Santos in the octagon, I realize. But like, did you have any of that like, oh man, this is kind of cool, like full circle thing, or is all that stuff just blank up the rise because you have big goals in mind?
It's a full realization that it comes full circle, but is it me? Oh my God, I can't believe that man. No, I expected to be here. Whenever I seen him, whenever I was taking that picture of him, I expected a post like that. like the one I made earlier this week to eventually come up, be like a reality. Like, I'm really not surprised by none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I am and I know what I can do. You know what I mean? Y'all are the ones being put on, not me. I'm putting y'all on game to what I can do and who I am. You know?
It can't feel that far away, though, Jamal. Like, if you beat a top 6 guy, you're talking like a title fight is not very, very far in the future.
Right.
How, like, if it all goes according to your plans, when do you think you get that shot? Like, if it all went your way, you beat Thiago, which I know you expect to do. How long before you find yourself in that position?
Second or third quarter of next year.
And do you think if it is a guy like Jiří Procházka, what do you think of a matchup like that?
That's the fight I've been asking for. I've been asking for that fight for it's been like 2 years now. You know what I mean? I want the smoke. I don't care if he got it. I'll take it from him. I'd actually rather. The thing about a Jiří Procházka fight to me is it doesn't matter if he has the belt or not. Me versus him is a money fight. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter if he has the belt, even better.
Do you how do you think the his next title defense is going to go? Because there's talk a rematch with Glover, him versus Jan. What do you think will be his next step before he fights you eventually the next fight if he wins?
I think it's going to be chaotic. Whoever he fights, I think it's just going to be chaotic unless he gets in there with somebody who just like kind of wants to sit back and just tries to like be too calculated. You know, yeah.
Talking to Jamal Hill, you guys can catch him on ESPN. Main event, taking out Thiago Santos. ESPN main card starts at 10 p.m. as he is rising up the light heavyweight rankings. Jamal, being a guy from Grand Rapids, Michigan, even though you're a mixed martial artist, like, is there any? Did you grow up following Floyd Mayweather at all? Like, was that ever a guy as a, you know, one of the most famous fighters from that town?
Yeah, I studied Floyd. I took things from Floyd's game and implemented them into mine to work. You know what I mean, to the best of my ability. You know what I mean, to help me be better. So yeah, of course.
What would that mean to you? Because he's got, you know, obviously the boxing part of that, but what would it mean to you to conquer kind of another sport and be like the guy from Grand Rapids that got all the way to the top?
It'd be dope, but like not like you know what I mean, not anything. But like those are his accomplishments. You know, I'm looking to achieve my own. I'm looking to have my own things, set my own bars and things like that. So that's what I'm focused on. I focus on myself.
Before we get you out of here, Jamal, I got to ask you about this. All right. So, I don't know. I'm sure we see this all the time, these crazy Russians, right? They're doing the wild fight stuff. Have you seen the latest that has been going around the internet of them fighting up on the cargo ship, up on the shipping containers?
No, that's a new one.
Could you ever imagine yourself fighting up on a shipping container, man? Like, this is why. First of all, where are they coming up with these ideas?
Takedown. I wouldn't recommend shooting for a takedown.
No, going into the frozen Russian lake.
I don't think anybody wins on that one.
Oh man, well, we appreciate the time, man. You've been an unbelievable story, and like it's a show every time you go out there and fight, man. So we're looking forward to continue watching the journey to the top.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Jamal.